Hello everyone. The story I'm going to tell you today reveals just how dark and savage human nature can truly be. It is a case that will freeze the blood in your veins. This isn't just a story of murder. It is a tale of systematic manipulation, a family's desperation, and a kind of torture that the human mind struggles to comprehend. The case file is named James Patterson Smith. The date is April 17, 1996. The place, Manchester, England. It's a quiet afternoon. A man walks through the doors of the Gorton police station. His name is James Patterson Smith. He is 48 years old, looking calm and collected. He turns to the officers and claims that his girlfriend has accidentally drowned in the bathtub at home. At first glance, it sounds like a tragic domestic accident, doesn't it? But when police entered Smith's home and stepped into that bathroom, the scene they encountered was enough to bring seasoned detectives men who had seen it all to tears. Because this was no accident. This was one of the most brutal cases of torture in British history. Let's rewind a bit. Our victim is Kelly Ann Bates. She was just a 17-year-old child. When Kelly was 14, she told her parents she had a boyfriend. Her mother, Margaret, and her father, Tommy, were people who trusted their daughter and wanted to raise her with freedom. They thought, it's probably a boy from school, a teenage crush, but they were wrong. They were terribly wrong. The boyfriend Kelly introduced as Dave was not Dave, and he certainly wasn't a boy from school. He was 48-year-old James Patterson Smith. He had lied to Kelly, telling her he was 32, hiding his true identity and his past. Kelly was mature for her age, but still a naive young girl. Perhaps she enjoyed the attention of an older man. But this relationship wasn't built on love. It was built entirely on power and control. Over time, Smith began to pull the strings of Kelly's life. When Kelly turned 16, she dropped out of school and moved in with Smith. Her family was frantic. They called the police and social services. But under British law, Kelly was 16 and considered an adult. The family's hands were tied. Every time Kelly visited home, traces of that cheerful girl were fading away. Worse, bruises started appearing on her body. One day on her arm, the next on her face. When her mother asked, she always had an excuse. Girls attacked me. I tripped on a fence. I fell down. Classic abuse victim defenses. Smith had manipulated her so deeply that Kelly hid the violence from her family, perhaps even blaming herself. In November 1995, her mother begged her, "Leave this man." That would be the last time her mother saw Kelly alive. When Smith walked into the station in April 1996 with that lie about an accident, the truth finally came to light. Police found that Kelly hadn't just drowned. She had endured a living hell for weeks. Reading the forensic report takes your breath away, friends. Experts found 150 separate injuries on Kelly's body. Look, 150. This poor girl had spent the last 3 weeks of her life as a prisoner in that house. Smith had tied her to a radiator by her hair, leaving her starving and dehydrated for days. Kelly had lost over 40 pounds, but the details are even more terrifying. While Kelly was still alive, it is hard to even say this, but he had gouged out her eyes. There were burns from an iron, stab wounds, and scalds from boiling water. Her kneecaps had been shattered. Bloodstains were found in every room of the house. This man had destroyed Kelly slowly, deriving pleasure from it. Do you know what the most infuriating part is? Smith's defense in court. This monster claimed that Kelly had challenged him, that she dared him to gouge her eyes out, and even claimed she inflicted the wounds on herself. No remorse, no sadness, just pure evil and narcissism. Thankfully, the jury didn't buy any of this nonsense. It took them less than an hour to reach a verdict. But because of the horrific photos they saw, and the details they heard, every member of that jury required psychological counseling after the trial. Just imagine if merely looking at the photos traumatized strangers. Think about what Kelly endured living through it. Looking into Smith's past, it was revealed he had abused previous partners, even attempting to strangle them. The signs were there, but the system failed to protect Kelly. James Patterson Smith was sentenced to life in prison. Kelly was laid to rest just one day before her 18th birthday. This story forces us to question the concept of trust. How can a human being be so savagely destroyed by someone they thought they loved? Thinking about those last 3 weeks Kelly lived through keeps me awake at night. I hope she has found the peace she deserves. In the next video, we will open another dark case file. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.